Cup coming, well, from the African Cup of Nations. It was another form of surprise for some African countries, especially Ghana. Were you expecting what happened yesterday? That it was going to happen? I don't think so. But then, what about the Nations League matches that were played across Europe? My God. Well, these are results that you can't afford to miss this morning. A special welcome to Talk Sport on Global Television with Ramsey Enoch. And of course, joining me in the studio right here is Samuel Odi. And he's going to be adding his voice to the conversation this morning as we take you through the world of stories from the world of sport. Good morning, Sammy.
Yeah, good morning, Ramsey. It's good, like I always say, it's always good to be here. And you know, I was just a bit surprised by the results I saw between Ghana and Niger. It was a shock. But never say never. Like we made mention about yesterday, that small teams will be surprising big teams this season.
And that's what makes it beautiful.
That's what makes football very, very beautiful.
That's why it is a game. Of course, let's take you through the result of the matches that were played yesterday. It was a fantastic time. I watched those games and I was actually thrilled by the actions. It was another AFCON blow again for Ghana as Diaz rescued Morocco. And of course, a dismal start to 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying by, I call that a star-studded Ghana. Well, they actually continue on a very shaky note when they considered a late goal to only draw 1-1 with the lowly Niger. I call them lowly because, of course, if you want to talk about Niger and putting them side by Ghana, you know what I'm talking about if you are actually a sport person. But then, whether or not you're a sport person, you should know when we call Ghana, we call Niger Republic. As a matter of fact, I call them a lowly Republic. They were able to defend that game, but then score both goals in the Group F clash in Moroccan City. That match took place at Beacon with at least Alidu Seydou putting Ghana ahead in 44 minutes. And of course, Omar Sako equalizing after 81 minutes. It was a very wonderful one. Moving away from there, let's go to Group B and see what happened right there. As a matter of fact, in Group B, top-ranked African team Morocco were able to get a needed 93 minutes to break the stubborn Mino Lesotho. Well, there is no Mino in the world of sport, but then I need to call Lesotho Mino this morning because I'm looking at the pedigree of Morocco. And as a matter of fact, just like what happened between Benin Republic and, of course, Ghana, the same thing repeating itself like Odi said earlier. There is no Mino in this game right now, as it were. And as a matter of fact, in a Gadi with Real Madrid midfielder talking about Ibrahim Diaz netting for a 1-0 win. As a matter of fact, the failure of the four-time African champions Ghana to win either qualifiers in a baffling given their formidable lineup. They had a very beautiful lineup, and that's the amazing part of the whole thing. Their lineup is so formidable, but then it's not how far. I will keep saying that. It's how well, because of 5 of the team that have been against Niger, Tero Lamptey, Thomas Partey, talking about Abdul Fatawu. Then you talk about Mohamed Kudus and, of course, Antonio Semayo. And I want to say this game, the way it actually went, it came with a lot of surprises. And as a matter of fact, a 6th starter against Angola from the Premier League, Jordan Ayew, was dropped by Coach Ato Ado with at least Inaki Williams from La Liga. You can see the crop of players that they had in that game, even though they couldn't really do much the way people expected. Outfit Atletico Bilbao taking his place. Democratic Republic of Congo secure a 2-0 win over Ethiopia. That's so amazing. I'm talking about DR Congo right here. You can see how it is actually going. I know Samuel will be surprised, even though this is a game and this is sport, and the surprises is endless. As a matter of fact, Ethiopia actually, I don't know, they were disappointed because Democratic Republic of Congo were able to secure 2-0, not even a draw. Oh my God, my God. And that win, as a matter of fact, came up in the 2025 African Cup of Nations. That's the AFCON qualification Group H match at the Benjamin Makara Stadium as a result. As it is right now, Leopards move to the top of the Group H, standing having won their first two matches, while Waha Ibex placed third in the table, having at least picked up 1 point in their first two games in the qualifier. These are the surprises that actually came from the qualifiers in the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Yesterday was another sorrowful day again for the big names. It's not all about the name right now, but it's all about the point. Oh my God. I don't know, but then a lot of people were surprised with the result of these matches. I don't know, do you differ in opinion or you belong to a different school of thought?
Well, I wouldn't say, well, I'm surprised both ways, Sha, because one, I was expecting Ghana to win and then I got surprised and then they played a draw. I was also surprised because though Morocco got a win, but I didn't expect them to struggle that much to be able to get the win. But though they still got the win, okay, my expectation was not cut off. But
it was shortened, but it was not cut off.
It was cut off. You know, because this smaller countries that we don't know so well in terms of football, most of these countries are very, very good when it comes to athleticism, you know, running, marathon race, and all of that. You know, we give that to them. But when it comes to football, countries like Ghana, Morocco, or, you know, tend to perform better than them. So for us to see them now getting involved and then making it even harder for these countries that have been there, you know, past champions of the African Cup of Nations, they are beginning to show that, okay, if we get the opportunity to get into it, we are going to give every team, we are going to meet a run for their money. So it's not even going to be looking like business as usual, you know, taking these teams as walkovers, but they are showing that, yes, they have what it takes. Given the fact that these countries, like the country like Ghana and Morocco, that have players playing in Spain, even in the Premiership, players that have played in world class, stages, still they were still able to like defend well and then make it difficult for these guys. So the game of football is always very interesting with intriguing surprises, and last night wasn't short of any.
All right, it wasn't short of any. That's from Samuel Odi, a sport analyst. And then let's move from Africa and move a little bit out of Africa now and talk about the Nations League that is ongoing right now. Let me just, should I even say this is a shocker, sort of? All right, it's never a shocker because this is sport. And it is a game in the world of sport. And if it is a game, you just expect anything. Let me take you through what happened from the Nations League as France and Italy were able to win in Nations League, but then Haaland was on target also for Norway. How did it really happen? As a matter of fact, Italy actually kept their perfect start to the UEFA Nations League. That was a very fantastic one, while France also got the better of Belgium, and also, as a matter of fact, Erling Haaland was able to get a stroke, and of course it was a late winner for Norway against Austria. Then let me just take you through how it actually happened as France were able to beat Belgium 2-0. That match actually took place in Lyon with at least, how do I put it? Let me just say it is of course a very beautiful game, but then I don't think the Belgium side actually were happy, and I think France came in just like they want to do a revenge because of the previous games they've played so far so good. As a matter of fact, as it is, it was Randa Kolo Mani and of course Ousmane Dembele who got the goal, as the actually came from the home side and they won despite Captain Kylian Mbappe being left out of the starting lineup as Group B3. Norway also on their own part were able to beat Austria. 2-1 was how that game actually ended. I was actually thinking about that game and I was like, hey, come on, what is happening right here in Oslo? That was where the match actually took place. Manchester City Star, talking about Haaland, fired in the winner 10 minutes from the Belgian captain Kevin De Bruyne. As a matter of fact, he also launched an angry trade against the teammate. He was angry because he couldn't hold it anymore, and he said, hey, come on, what's happening? He was angry with his home side when they were beaten 2-0 away to France in their Nations League clash. Well, as a matter of fact, he was angry, and that anger is justifiable because if you look at the crop of players that they have, it's like they didn't give out their best. Like some persons will say, well, come on, why is it that when these guys are playing a national game, when they are playing for the countryside, they don't put in more effort, energy, the tactics, the game, their A game is not coming on when it has to do with their country. But if they get to their clubs, they are on top of their game, and it could be part of the reason why he was actually angry. But this is some of the result from the matches that were played from the UEFA Nations League. I don't know, Samuel, what do you think? His anger, is it justifiable? And did you see this course coming? Because as a matter of fact, a lot of people will say, well, I said it. And some persons will say, wow, can you imagine this?
You know, looking at De Bruyne, like he was playing, but his teammates were not, you know, at the same level with him. That was why he was upset, because he makes the runs, he gets the ball, he gives the passes. You know, Doku played a very good, you know, played a massive role, but the France side, they were on the defensive, and then they really did a very good job, you know, defending and then making those his runs really, really difficult for him. He gets, you know, to make difficult runs, gets the ball still, but at the moment now, clinically, he wasn't able to, you know, finish very well. It's either he played it way above the bar, or, you know, a secondary defender will just come and take the ball away. So for De Bruyne to be angry, definitely, we all know De Bruyne is. He's a winner. He loves winning, and then he has this winning mentality. So he was trying to get his teammates involved in the game so that they can all play. Looking at them, defensively, they were not really clinical. They didn't do much. You know, France you know, pressured them all through in the first half, and in the second half, the pressure was more. So a few times that they had opportunities to make runs, they were just busy, laid back, and not like coming out to play. So all of those things now contributed to the singular fact why, you know, they lost the game. And again, France also wouldn't want to lose the game in their home, given the fact that, you know, the Belgium had the last laugh, and again, they went to the Euros, and then they didn't get to win and all of that. So they are coming out to make a statement at this point. So having Kylian Mbappe out of the game, you know, they had all that game plans, given the fact that likes of Karim what's his name again? He didn't really start up. He plays for Atletico Madrid. He didn't really start up. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, so all of these things now happened because they had a strategic plan. The coach gave room for new players to start up, and then mixed with experience, having players like N'Golo Kante being the captain and then controlling the midfield. We know what we call him, General N'Golo Kante. He's always everywhere. So he was everywhere, controlling the game from the pitch. So it was amazing. So the results that we saw wasn't really, you know, wasn't really shocking. So Griezmann, yes, Griezmann came off the bench, and then when he came, the game itself changed drastically from the midfield. So it was just amazing work that they all did, and kudos to France, kudos to the coach for that strategy. And for De Bruyne, maybe you should just get ready for the next match and maybe see if you get his life. Yes.
All right, De Bruyne, you can hear us loud and clear from here. Just get ready for the next game. That's what it is. It's what it is. As a matter of fact, let's quickly move from the actions coming from the UEFA Nations League and move straight up to the busy Tuesday that we have. It's actually a busy Tuesday. Let me just give you a wrap of what's going to be happening today from the AFCON qualifiers. I call it a busy Tuesday because, as a matter of fact, it's a busy day of action as this 10th day of September will wrap up 2025 African Cup of Nations. That's the AFCON qualifying for the month with no less than 15 matches played across the continent. And as a matter of fact, the big names in action include the reigning African champion, talking about Ivory Coast, who will be away to Chad in Yaoundé, Cameroon. And of course, the chasing a second win. They will be chasing their own second win in Group G. As a matter of fact, I don't know, but then getting a second win, it's not that easy, but then everyone needs to go for it. If you can't get the sun, come on, move for the star. At least don't come back empty. I think that's what it means for the Cameroonian. That's what it means actually for the champions. Talking about this game that will be going on. Let's move away from there. Talking about Ivory Coast, of course. As a matter of fact, they are the champion. And I don't know, but that game, the way it's going to go, wouldn't really make it because After defeating Zambia 2-0 last Friday, the heavy weight Nigeria also will come into the clash away to Group D. Rivals talking about Rwanda, and that match is going to be going on in Kigali. Full momentum is going to be coming on board. Guavon has given Nigerians the full assurance that everything is going to go on well, and of course, the players are also bringing a lot of assurance to the table, looking at what they did to Niger Republic. Will they repeat the same thing today in Rwanda? But as it is, a lot of people say that they were supposed to get more goals. Lukman was supposed to get up to 5 goals according to Gideon yesterday. But then let's see if they are going to have a repeat of the same thing today. Nigeria is actually going to be holding it down. Osimhen is ready. All the other players are also ready. Looking at that game coming on today and the other games that will be coming up in Group E, Egypt do have something of a winkle to actually smooth out their veteran defender Ahmed. Of course, let's just look at that game holistically and see all the matches that will be going down today. What do you think? It's a busy Tuesday, as a matter of fact, because South Africa will also face Southern Sudan too. This is going to be for the first time, and they will look for a key win in Group K, having needed an let me just call it injury time equalizer from their debutant the last match that they played, but then remember that Talente Baha is going to be playing in that game. So I don't know, what's your thing? What's your take concerning these games today?
Well, let's look at South Africa. They're almost like cleared already to like get into, the 2025 African Cup of All Nations. But notwithstanding, the coast is not totally clear for them because one, they definitely have a few other teams that they need to. They've not faced Ghana, they've not faced Morocco and all. So they definitely have their work cut out for them. This is the first time, like you rightly mentioned, for us to see South Sudan represent, come for this kind of qualifiers game. Looking at those angles now, let's just digress a bit. Let's talk basketball for a little. South Sudan, when they were trying to get themselves ready for the Olympics that just concluded, that's in basketball, they faced Team USA, which had the best of its best, and then they were able to hold them, and then they lost to a point. So talking about South Africa now, they need to take South Sudan very seriously, because if they don't take them very seriously, this is the first time they will want to make a name for themselves. They will want to announce to the world that
it's either they take them seriously or they take them seriously and get a point.
Yes, that's just what it's going to boil down to, South Africa and South Sudan. But I'm looking at South Sudan, and I'm sure they will definitely bring the fight, given the fact that they are playing at home. They have all the support from their fans. And again, the weather and then the timing again suits them more. So I think they have an added advantage and all of that. Then let's come back home now to Nigeria. Austin Eguavoen has assured Nigerians that, the Super Eagles are ready and they can be able to face any team. We've also heard from players saying that the team spirit and then is very, very high, and then they are very excited to the next phase. They know what's at hand. They know what's at stake. They need to win, a must win. We don't even need a draw. So I think they all need to go with the mentality that we are playing African Cup of Nations finals. Let them just assume that, okay, every team we are facing is Ivory Coast that took away the championship from us, and then try to get the revenge. Because if they go on with that mentality, going with those firepowers, I don't think with the current squad that we have in the Super Eagles that there is a team in Africa that would defeat the Super Eagles.
I like that. I don't think there is a team in Africa, not to talk about West Africa, not to talk Africa, in the whole of Africa, that will defeat the Super Eagles right now, looking at their form and, of course, the enthusiasm and the commitment and their game that they've been bringing on board. All right, let's quickly go on a short break. After this break, we'll return. And when we return, we'll look at some of the matters arising from the world of sport, as we will have Dalitin join us via Zoom. We will return after this break.
Hello, hello, hello. Anybody there?
All right, it's another wonderful time, and I want to specially welcome you from that break. It is still Sport Live on your screen right here. Talk Sport on Global Television with Ramsey. Joining me right now is Darlington Polomi, and he is going to be adding his voice to the conversation as we look at matters arising. From the world of sport, the first matter arising is about Victor Osimhen. It's good to have you on the show this morning. Darlington, good morning. Hello, Darlington. Hello. Hello, Darlington. Good morning. All right, let's quickly get to the first big, I call it a big matters arising from the world of sport as we talk about Victor Osimhen. The issue of Victor Osimhen is not near over yet because a lot of speculation. As at yesterday, we heard that he may be going back to Chelsea again, but that is after his time in Galatasaray. Then Arsenal are also trying to make way for him, but as it is right now, I think Victor Osimhen is ready to actually ply his trade in Europe, of course, but as it is right now, I don't know. I think Mikel Obi has come out to say, well, the reason why Victor Osimhen actually didn't go to Chelsea is not what people are thinking, because some persons said, well, it's because of the money, and some other persons said, well, it's because of his agent. But I think everything boils down to his agent. But the Chelsea fans themselves are not so happy that Victor Osimhen didn't end up in Chelsea. But as it is right now, for Kante, it is a no-no, and for him, instead of him just sitting down in Napoli, doing nothing, being redundant, rendering his career useless, he had to move to Galatasaray, and he came out to say, well, he got this beautiful advice from some of his Nigerian teammates, and right now he's in Galatasaray. But then we heard that he will be going to Chelsea after the loan. But what do you think about that? Good morning once again, Darlington.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Ramsey.
All right, it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
All right, let's talk about Osimhen going back to Chelsea. Is that necessary, or he should just focus on what he's doing? Because Mikel Obi said no matter what has happened, Chelsea still needed him, so he will be returning back to Chelsea after his loan in Galatasaray. What do you think about that? Is that necessary, or do you think he's still going to go back to Chelsea looking at all that transpired? Because the money Chelsea was actually bringing out to get him was not up to what he was earning in Napoli, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay. First off, the deal fell through maybe because of, I think, the agents in Osimhen's side, one of the issues why the deal fell through. And speaking of Osimhen, he's like top 3 best striker in the world right now, if not amongst the elites of best strikers in the world. You don't want to see someone like Osimhen carry his skills to Saudi Arabia and other places to play football. He needs to be in the best leagues in the world. So I still see Osimhen coming around on January transfer window. Watch out for him in the January transfer window. He might just still make the push to Chelsea or any other club thinking of acquiring his service. Because you can see in the last game for Nigeria just now, he just came in and he just scored. That shows class. He came in and the game changed and the score. He's a game changer, and teams know about this skill set of Osimhen, and I think he's going to come back to you, going to come back to England. Definitely come back to play football at the top stage of football. Definitely very soon.
That's that. Let's move away from there and talk about Harry Kane a little bit. Looking at the pedigree of Harry Kane, he's saying, well, what Ronaldo is doing is inspiring him, and he wants to get goals as much as Ronaldo has gotten. Get to the peak where Ronaldo is right now. Even if he's not getting to that exact number of goals, he should be able to get at least something very close to it. Looking at Harry Kane, does he have all the time, and will he ever at least measure up a little bit? He's not trying to compare himself, but then he said he is inspired with what Ronaldo is actually doing. What can you say about Harry Kane a little bit?
One of the thank you for that question. Is a very very nice question, because one of the best, the staunchest supporters of Cristiano Ronaldo from his early years is Harry Kane. I remember when he was loaned out to Norwich, he was actually founding Cristiano Ronaldo then. Yeah, so he actually has molded his game to Cristiano Ronaldo. If you see his interview, he said it that he goes back and watch video clips of Ronaldo practice shooting, because he learns shooting. He practiced shooting from Ronaldo's videos that he watches and all that. He has molded his game around him. He wishes to be that kind of person. He wishes to get as much goals as possible, and you can see it in the field of play. Last season, is it 40 or 50 goals last season in Bundesliga and his country or competition last season? You can see that he's pushing. How many golden boots does he have in England? He has like 3 golden boots in England. You can see that he's an elite striker already. Getting to that Ronaldo on 900 and something goals, it's hard. It's going to be difficult at this stage of his career because he's 31. But you never can write things up from players that want to push themselves to the limit. It's sports. Remember, anything can happen.
All right. All right, that's good. Well, what an opinion. Well, that's what you think, but maybe some persons may want to differ in their own opinion, but then I think you sound very well. Let's talk about Manchester City. Looking at another matter arising is the fact that Manchester City is doing very well now, and everybody is giving the credit to Pep Guardiola. But someone said something. He said, no matter what, the crop of players that Manchester City have right now, whether with or without Pep Guardiola, they will do fine. And Pep Guardiola's contract is coming gradually to the end. Do you think Guardiola's contract should be extended, or if he leaves Manchester City, they will still maintain their form and win trophies? Remember, there is a rivalry between Liverpool especially and Manchester City. Do you think if Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City today, they will still keep their form and win trophies the way they've won? They've won a couple of trophies so far with Pep Guardiola. What do you think?
I think one of the biggest criticism people have about Pep Guardiola, and people don't even understand this thing about Pep Guardiola, his scouting system, the way he scouts players that fit his system, is genius, and people have to give him credit for that. People don't give him credit for that a lot. You get, this team was assembled by Pep Guardiola, and you think this team, most of these players, they play outside the Pep Guardiola comfort zone. You can see their flaws. But with Pep Guardiola knows their strengths and their weaknesses. Is any manager going to just come and take them to whatever place? I don't think so. People said that about Barcelona. Barcelona failed countless times, and they are still wishing they had Pep Guardiola. People said that when he was at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich has failed countless times, and they are still wishing Guardiola. You get me? So I don't think it's going to be easy. But is somebody going to do it? Sure, they can. Like I said, football, anything can happen. But Pep Guardiola is a genius. And if you lose a manager like Pep Guardiola, you've lost a diamond. Trust me. He's one of the best in the game right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's the voice of Darlington. Darlington, before I let you go, we are almost rounding up, but then let's talk about Arsenal a little bit. Someone said, well, Arsenal missing out on getting Osimhen as one striker that is sought after is a problem. It's going to be a problem for Arsenal that they need a striker like Victor Osimhen. But then Osimhen's eyes was on Chelsea, as a matter of fact. But then the reason why I'm actually talking about Arsenal here is because someone said Arsenal is always getting close to the goal, but they are never getting the trophy. But they will get very close to it, escort other people. Do you think their striking force is lagging? Is there a problem there? Because someone said, well, what they need right now is a striker. But Osimhen was their target, but now they've missed it. Do you see that as a problem for Arsenal?
Is it a problem? Because Arteta has a system. Do you get me? Is it a problem? So in the paper, on papers, Osimhen would have slot seamlessly into the Arsenal team on papers. Because even if you just watch the gameplay of Arsenal, they need a focal point, a focal number 9, an orthodox out striker to get a fox in the box. Someone like Osimhen on paper. But Arteta, being that he likes fluidity in his attack, and maybe he thinks Osimhen does not have the technical skill sets to finish off what he's trying to build or what he's trying to create. I don't know. But Osimhen on paper fits into Arsenal. Was it a big miss? Yes, in my opinion. But Arsenal, I think they have a plan. Or I'll say they have a plan. But Jesus is injured currently, or he's nowhere near fit. Havertz. He's going to remain this person for a long period of time. So Osimhen would have done well for Arsenal. But Arsenal, I don't know. We never know. Maybe this year they will just finally just win a title. Maybe we can just call it a rest.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Darlington, for joining us on TalkSport today. But then, what's your prediction for Nigeria-Rwanda game today? Just the scoreline. Just give me the scoreline.
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say 4-0?
Yeah, I like the new formation. Even though I was not in support of Eguafon, I like the new formation. 3-4-3. I like the new formation.
Okay, let's see how that ends. Thank you very much for joining us on TalkSport today. We hope to have you maybe live in the studio some other time.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. This is going to be the size of TalkSport today. It's been a very wonderful time. Everyone is ready. All eyes. And it's on the busy Tuesday as the game will be going down today, especially that one between the Super Eagles and the Amovabi. Well, let's see how that game is going to go. Someone has predicted 4-0, looking at the formation and the kind of, what do I call it? Enthusiasm, the tactics, the potentials that the Super Eagles have. Will they really make it? Remember, for Benin Republic, it was 3-0. Then, for Rwanda, we are looking at 4-0 based on Darlington's prediction. What's your own prediction? Get on the channel, drop your prediction for us, and we'll react to it at the end of the game. My name is Ramsey. Thank you for staying with us on TalkSport. We'll come on your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Have a beautiful day ahead of you.